Ever wondered which of the 16 MBTI types could become a terrifying villain? We all love the hero side of personality types, but what happens when those same strengths turn dark? Today, we're diving into the hidden drives, secret fears, and twisted motives that could transform each type into something dangerous. Not cartoon villains, real ones. The kind that manipulate from the shadows or control everything in plain sight. So, ready to meet your shadow? Section 1. The Power Strategists. INTJ, ENTJ, ESTJ, ISTJ. Let's start with the cold, calculated minds of the Power Strategists. INTJs top the danger chart. Calm, analytical, controlled. When unhealthy, they become the ultimate puppet masters, plotting 10 steps ahead, treating people like chess pieces. Not out of cruelty, but because they think they know best. And often, they do. That's what makes them terrifying. A villain you never see coming. Think Light Yagami from Death Note. ENTJs aren't far behind. Charismatic, visionary, commanding. They're the leaders who believe in their mission so much, they'll destroy anything that gets in the way. Opposition? It's just noise to silence. Because when ENTJs lose their moral compass, they don't hesitate, they dominate. Think Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada. Then there are the ESTJs and ISTJs, the lawful enforcers. They don't create chaos. They impose order. If rules exist, they will be followed. And if you break them, well, you're the enemy. They're not villains in their eyes. They're protectors of structure. Think Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. These four types become dangerous not through emotion or impulse, but because they believe they're right. And nothing is more chilling than conviction without compassion. Section 2. The Emotional Manipulators, INFJ and ENFJ. Not all villains use power, some use emotion. INFJs are the silent puppeteers, deeply moral, deeply convicted, and when unhealthy, dangerously persuasive. They'll twist empathy into control, all while believing they're saving the world. To them, the end justifies the means. And their voice? Soft, gentle. But every word, calculated. Think Ozymandias from Watchmen. ENFJs. On the surface, they're the warmest people you'll meet. Charming, inspiring, devoted. But when that devotion becomes obsession, they manipulate to stay loved. Their worst fear? Being unnecessary. So they pour themselves out, and when it's not enough, they pull strings behind the scenes. Think Regina George from Mean Girls. These types don't dominate with power. They dominate with care, or at least the illusion of it. Section 3. The Unpredictable Tricksters, ENTP, ENFP, INTP, INFP. Chaos, curiosity, unpredictability. ENTPs are the idea machines. Brilliant, restless, dangerous when their thrill-seeking turns into twisted experiments. They're not always evil, but they love testing boundaries. And if those boundaries are moral lines, so be it. Think the Joker from The Dark Knight. ENFPs feel everything deeply, which makes them inspiring, until hurt transforms that energy into something darker. Charisma becomes control, emotion becomes manipulation, and suddenly you're following them into the fire, not even realizing they lit it. Think Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. NTPs, detached thinkers. They don't yell, they just observe. And if the world doesn't make sense, they'll rebuild it, or destroy it. Sometimes both. A cold NTP villain is terrifyingly calm in chaos. Think Walter White from Breaking Bad. And then there's the INFP, the tragic anti-hero. They want to do good. But when values clash with reality, their pain can turn them unpredictable. It's not evil. It's devastation, dressed in principle. Think Eric Killmonger from Black Panther. These types might not plan world domination, but they could tear everything down trying to find meaning. Section 4. The Sensory Predators, ESFP, ESTP, ISFP, ISTP. These are the villains of the body. Impulse, instinct, action. ESFPs are all about thrill and attention, the life of the party, until the party turns bloody. They don't always mean to cause harm, but once they're the center of the storm, they don't stop. Think Cruella de Vil from Cruella. ESTPs are wired for risk, calculated but bold. They act first, feel later, if at all. Danger is a drug, and sometimes people are just collateral. Think Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can. ISFPs, the artists. But when hurt, their art becomes revenge. They don't shout, they don't warn, they create destruction beautifully. Think Amy Dunn from Gone Girl. And ISTPs, they're the mechanics of menace. Cool, calm, capable, they don't rage, they just act. Efficient, detached, lethal. Think Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. These villains don't plan for chaos, they are chaos. Fast, silent, dangerous. Section 5. The Soft Shadows, ISFJ and ESFJ. Now, let's talk about the ones no one suspects. ISFJs are loyal, kind, self-sacrificing, but ignore them long enough, push them too far, and you awaken a storm. Their revenge is precise, not loud but effective. They'll wait, they'll remember. And when the moment comes, they strike with quiet, chilling clarity. Think Rose Armitage from Get Out. ESFJs want harmony, they want to be needed. But what happens when that need turns into obsession? They start managing people's lives like a chessboard. They'll control you with love. They'll guilt you into obedience. And once crossed, that warm smile becomes a warning. Think Eleanor from The Haunting of Hill House. Don't mistake softness for weakness. These are the villains forged by silence, suppression, and years of unmet emotional needs. So, which MBTI type is the most dangerous? Is it the mastermind INTJ, the tyrannical ENTJ, the moral manipulator INFJ, the chaos-loving ENTP, the thrill-seeking ESTP, or the quietly vengeful ISFJ? The truth is, any type can fall, because it's not the type that makes someone dangerous. It's how far they're willing to go to justify the pain they carry. When strengths become obsessions, when gifts are used without empathy, that's when shadows take over.